This is Hattie Mae. She is 96 years old. Take a good long look at that face and then hear the truth about it. Not one needle has ever touched it. A dermatologist today would swear that skin like hers, smooth and lit at 96, is simply not possible without Botox. He would be dead wrong. Hattie Mae never had it. Her mother never had it. Not one black woman she came up with, from the red dirt of the South to her doorstep on Sugar Hill in Harlem, ever paid a doctor to freeze her face still. They were told they were flawed. They knew better. Everything a black woman needed to stay ageless sat in a few plain jars on a shelf above the sink. No clinic, no needle, no $300 a visit to buy back a glow they were born already owning. 10 jars. That is the whole story. By the end of this, you will know all 10, why each one worked on our skin when nothing else would, and what these companies would charge you for the very same thing today. We count down from 10 to the one they buried the deepest. And number 1 is the reason the whole world spent 50 years trying to bottle black skin and never could. Stay with me. Number 10. Number 10, Pond's Cold Cream. And if you came up in a black household, you already know this jar. This is the one. Ask 100 black women what sat on their mother's sink, and that squat white jar of Pond's is the first thing out of every mouth. It was up on Sugar Hill. It was down in the Delta. From Harlem to Houston, if one jar raised us, it was this one right here. Every night, before a black woman laid her head down, she took the whole day off her face with Pond's. She would dip 2 fingers into that cool white cream, warm it, and smooth it over her face in slow circles. The powder from church, the city dust, the long day of it, all of it lifted clean away with one warm cloth. And only then did she go to bed. My grandmother used to say a lady does not carry the day to her pillow, and she would check your face at the door to be sure. Now here is why that little jar beat any modern shelf of bottles. Melanin. Rich skin does not forgive being stripped. Scrub it harsh, and it fights you back with dark marks that sit for months. Pond's cleaned soft. It lifted the day without tearing the barrier, so the skin stayed calm, even, and clear. And calm skin does not scar, and does not age in a hurry. A jar of Pond's costs less than a loaf of bread. Today they hand you a cleansing balm in a fancy jar, call it a ritual, and charge you $60 for the very same cold cream that raised your grandmother. Number 9, Noxzema. You knew this jar before you could even read. That deep cobalt blue, and that smell, eucalyptus and menthol strong enough to fill the whole bathroom. Every black woman of a certain age can call that scent up right now. Here was the ritual, and it was almost a ceremony. She would smooth a thick white layer of Noxzema over her face, and then she waited for the tingle, that cold, sharp bite spreading across the skin. And listen, the tingle was the whole point. If it did not sting just a little, she did not trust it. That cool was her proof the day was being pulled clean out of her pores. And you saw this jar everywhere in our world. You saw it in ebony. You saw it in jet. A product actually speaking to black women, back when almost nothing on that shelf did. Now here is why it worked. That cool came from menthol and camphor, and under them, a clay and oil base that drank up the extra grease on oily skin. In the southern heat, that mattered. It cut the shine, tightened the look of the pores, and left the face matte and clean without stripping it bare. That cobalt jar cost about $1. Today, a cooling clay mask with the same menthol and clay comes in a tube with a French name and a $38 price. Same tingle, same clay, 40 times the money. Quick pause, one breath only. Everything on this list came from our women. The black women who knew and were never thanked. Your own grandmother was probably one of them. So stay close. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you kindly. Now, back to the countdown. Number 8. And I already know what your face is doing right now. Stay with me, because this one shows you just how clever these women really were. Crisco. Yes, the shortening. The same blue and white can that fried the chicken and made the pie crust flake had a standing appointment in the beauty routine. Go on and laugh. Your grandmother is laughing right back, because hers worked. A black woman would take a heavy scoop and work it into cracked heels, ashy elbows, and knees worn rough from a hard life of standing and cleaning and raising children. Then cotton socks over the feet and off to bed. By morning, the ash was gone and the skin had gone soft as a girl's. Now here is why it worked, and it is real science. Pure shortening is what a dermatologist calls an occlusive. It lays a seal over dry, broken skin and locks the water in underneath, so the skin repairs overnight instead of cracking wider. They use that very word today and charge a fortune for it. The African-American grandmother at that kitchen counter never needed the word. She had the result, for pennies. That was the whole spirit of a black woman's cabinet. She could make something out of anything. Today, a barrier repair balm that does the same job, seal and heal, runs you $45 for a jar the size of your thumb. Number 7. Jergens. That cherry almond lotion. The one you could smell coming before she ever turned the corner. If your mother wore Jergens, that scent just did something to your chest, because it meant she was getting ready. A black woman would pour a little into her palms on a Sunday morning, run it up her arms and over her hands, and walk out the door smelling like clean skin and sweet almonds. And honey, you knew that smell 3 pews back. You did not even have to turn your head to know who had just sat down. She used it every day, wherever the skin might go dull. It kept a black woman soft and glowing under those church lights, never ashy, never tight. Now here is why it did the work. Jergens was built to pull water down into the skin and hold it there, not just coat the top and sit. And on skin that turns ashy the second it dries, that daily draw of moisture was everything. A bottle cost $1 or $2 at the drugstore on the corner. Today, a hydrating body serum in a pretty glass bottle, promising that same held moisture, asks $35, and it will not leave a scent anybody remembers in 50 years. Number 6. Nivea. That little blue tin that has quietly outlived every trend there ever was. You know the one. Round, deep blue, a lid you twisted with a firm thumb. Inside, a thick white cream far richer than the thin lotions they push now. A black woman would take the smallest dab, warm it between her fingers, and press it into her face and hands at night. A little went a long way, and one tin sat on that nightstand for months. She kept it simple. Clean face, a touch of Nivea, and to bed. No 10 bottles, no confusion. Just the blue tin she trusted. Now here is why that plain tin works so well. It was built water and oil, not oil and water like the light stuff today. So it does not just sit on top and evaporate. It sinks in and seals, and it rebuilds the barrier that melanin-rich skin loses over the years. After a black woman turns 50, her skin stops making the oil that kept it plump at 20. A rich cream like this puts it right back. That blue tin cost a few dollars, from the corner store in Bronzeville to the drugstore downtown. Today, a rich night cream making that same promise takes $90 out of your purse for a jar you finish inside a month. Now hold on, because the countdown turns right here. Everything above this line kept a black woman's skin clean and fed. The next 5 jars did the real anti-aging work. The fading, the lifting, the glow the whole world has been trying to steal off black skin for as long as there have been cameras. And the jar at number 1 is the one Africa herself gave us, that no laboratory has ever come close to. Number 5, Oil of Olay. That pretty pink bottle that looked like pure money and cost almost nothing. You remember that color, that soft rosy pink, sitting on the vanity like a little piece of luxury a black woman could actually afford. She would tip a few drops onto her fingertips and pat it into her face before bed, along the cheeks, around the eyes, up the forehead. It sank in light and left the skin dewy, never greasy. And here is a truth we do not say near enough. It felt expensive, and that mattered. A black woman who spent all day cleaning somebody else's house could set that elegant pink bottle on her own dresser and feel, for a moment, like the whole world belonged to her too. Now, here is why it earned the name. That pink fluid carried humectants that draw water into the skin and light oils that hold it there. So, by morning, the fine lines had plumped and softened, and the face looked rested and smooth. It punched far above its little price. A bottle cost a few dollars at any drugstore. Today, an anti-aging emulsion promising that same plumping will cost you $70, and it will not make you feel one bit richer than that pink bottle made your grandmother feel. Number 4, Vitamin E, the healer, in a single soft gold capsule. This one was targeted, almost like medicine, and a black woman used it with real precision. She kept a little jar of those gold capsules in the cabinet, and when a scar or a dark spot needed help, she reached for exactly one. She would pierce it with a pin, squeeze that thick golden oil straight onto the mark, and press it in, nowhere else, right on the spot that needed to mend. Sometimes she broke a capsule into her night cream to make the whole thing stronger. Nothing measured, nothing written down. A black woman knew her own face, and she knew the exact spot asking for help. Now, here is why it worked. Vitamin E is an antioxidant that lives in the skin's own oils. It steadies the barrier, calms the damage, and over time it softens the look of scars and old dark marks. And for melanin-rich skin, which marks dark and holds those marks so stubbornly, a precise little repair like that was worth its weight in gold. A jar of those capsules cost next to nothing at the drugstore. Today, a vitamin E facial oil in a dropper bottle, the same single ingredient, sells for $55, and you are still just squeezing a little oil onto a spot, exactly like she did. Number 3, Ambi. And this one is tender because this was the one jar on that whole shelf that was actually made for us. Think about what that meant. In a time when nearly every product in the store was built for somebody else's skin, along came Ambi, speaking straight to black women. She would take a small dab and work it into the dark spots life had left behind, the old blemish marks, the patches the sun had darkened over the years. And night after night, slow and steady, those spots evened out, and her skin tone came back together. Now let me be clear about what this was and what it was not. This was never about lightening who she was. Not ever. It was about evening out what life had marked. Melanin-rich skin heals dark, and one old blemish can leave a spot that lingers a whole year. Ambi worked on those spots, softened them, blended them back into one even, healthy tone. And there was something deeper in it too. To find a jar made with your skin in mind, in a world that acted like black women did not even exist, was its own quiet victory. She was finally being seen. A small jar cost a few dollars. Today, a tone-correcting serum promising that same even, spot-free finish asks you $80, and half of them still are not made with a black woman. Number 2, Vaseline. That blue jar that did the very thing a whole beauty trend takes the credit for today. Now every black woman watching just nodded, because the blue jar was in the house before you were born, and it will be there long after we are gone. By the sink, by the bed, down at the bottom of the pocketbook. And a black woman knew the one thing most people still get dead wrong. You do not put Vaseline on dry skin. You put it on damp skin, fresh out the bath, while the water is still sitting on you. She used it everywhere. A shine on the lips, a shield against the ash on the shins and knuckles, a little dab high on the cheekbones for that soft Sunday glow. And on a cold Chicago morning, that jar stood between a black child and skin cracked gray by the wind. Mama was not letting you out that door ashy. Not on her watch. Now here is why it works so well, and it is pure science. Vaseline is the strongest seal there is. Laid over damp skin, it locks the water in and stops it escaping, almost completely. The skin underneath stays soft, full, and glowing for hours. That lit from within glow on black skin, the magazines chase to this day. A whole lot of it came right out of that plain blue jar. The beauty world calls this slugging now, and struts around like it invented it last year. Our grandmothers were slugging on Beale Street before the word existed. Their jar cost pennies. The new slugging balm costs $40 and does not do it one bit better. Number 1, Shea Butter, the gold that came all the way from home. This is the one they should have buried the deepest, because this is the one they could never fake. Long before it ever sat on an American shelf, Shea Butter came from the nut of a tree that grows across West Africa, whipped soft by hand by women who had done it that exact way for hundreds of years. So when a black woman in the States scooped it from a plain tub, understand what was really happening. She was reaching back across an ocean, all the way home, to the hands of the women she came from. And nothing built in a laboratory has ever matched it. Shea Butter is packed with the fatty acids and the vitamins that tired skin is starving for, the A and the E. And it works 2 ways at once. It pulls moisture in, then seals it down, which almost nothing else can do on its own. It sinks into the driest, most weathered skin and brings it back to life. It calms the itch of eczema. It softens rough patches nothing else would touch. It even carries a little natural shield from the sun. On melanin-rich skin and on our hair, there has simply never been anything better. A little worked in, left a black woman deep, lasting, and glowing. But here is the part that matters most. A grandmother would take a little of that Shea Butter onto her fingers and press it gently into her granddaughter's arm. And in that one quiet moment, she was handing that child the very same thing her own mother once handed her. Not a product. A whole line of women reaching forward. Today, they sell you a Shea-infused luxury cream in fancy packaging for $120. Mostly water and filler with a whisper of the real thing in it. Our grandmothers used the whole gold, and that is why they glowed. So there they are, 10 real jars, not one needle among them, a clean start with Pond's, a deep clean with Noxzema, a seal against the ash with Crisco, a scent that announced her with Jergens, a rich cream at night with Nivea, a little pink luxury in oil of Olay, a precise healer in vitamin E, a jar made just for her in Ambi, the blue glow of Vaseline, and the gold from home in Shea Butter, 10 plain jars that kept black women ageless while the world kept insisting they were not enough. They were always more than enough. They simply knew what worked and never wasted a dime finding out. Now do one thing for me. If any of these sat on your mother's sink or your grandmother's, go down to the comments and tell me which one and where in the world you are watching from. Harlem, Atlanta, Houston, Detroit, London, I want to see every last one of you because this is our story and we keep it alive together. And if you want the whole list written down, every jar and what it saves you today, I put it into a free guide for you over at blackgrandmasvault.com. It is yours. Give this one a like so more of our people find their way here. And if you are not with us yet, subscribe and stay close. There is always one more jar and one more woman worth remembering. Until next time, keep glowing.